Hi, this is Steve, sometimes known as your friendly neighborhood man in Magenta wig, and welcome to part 7 of Oh My God, I'm Still Listening to Madonna. Yes, that's right, we're not done yet. We're getting close though. We're at 2006 now. And yes, I thought I was out of rant mode now that we're past American Life. But unfortunately, that is not the case. From here on out, I fear it's very bumpy territory. But let's go through these one at a time and see just why I say that. Let's start with 2006 and the live album, I'm Going to Tell You a Secret. Now this is actually a 2-disc set, 1 CD, 1 DVD, so I'll talk about those separately. As far as the CD goes with the live recordings, it's mostly songs from American Life, so I did not enjoy it. No, I did not enjoy it. Yeah, and besides the American Life songs, I mean, the song American Life itself, I kind of like that she worked in bits and pieces of that like hard rock remix that was on the Remixed and Revisited album. But the rest of the songs she sings from that album, I mean, they didn't get any better. They just have an audience this time. And some parts of the concert on here are just so random, like, she starts the CD with this track that was like this big opening to the concert called The Beast Within, where she just waxes poetic for several minutes about Satan. And one part of the concert has a bagpipe solo. I don't get it. And she does... Fans are going to get on me for this. She does the worst fucking cover of Imagine I have ever heard in my life, and I'm sorry. If you disagree with that, that's fine. That's my opinion, but it's bad. It's so bad. So yeah, if that's not problematic enough, you know, the CD ends with a studio track, which happens to be I Love New York, the one song on Confessions on a Dance Floor I didn't like, because it reminded me too much of American Life, and this, because the one on that album was more, you know, like techno dance style to fit in with that album. This is like a hard rock version, which sounds like it belonged on the American Life album. So, I know I'm starting this review on a really negative note, but I just really, honestly did not like the live CD. But, okay, now as for the DVD. So, I think I went into this with the false impression that it was a DVD of the concert that the CD represents. And it's actually not. It's a documentary. It shows a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, but it's mostly about, you know, Madonna's spiritual journey at the time. And I will say, not that this is a bad thing. You know, if someone wants to find that part of themselves, I'm okay with that. I'm just saying, if you don't like Madonna at her absolute preachiest, this documentary might not appeal to you because it dwells on that so much. Now, I didn't really like the editing much either because, you know, parts of it, especially at the beginning when they're introducing her dancers and stuff, it relies way too much on, like, MTV-style editing. Like, the part with, you know, where you meet the dancers kind of feels like an episode of The Real World, you know? But I'm not going to say I completely disliked the documentary. The one thing I took from it, and this is big, this is actually a really big thing, because I've always told people I don't care for Madonna as a personality. That actually really changed after I saw this documentary, because I know the face that she puts on like talk shows and stuff, where she's very, you know, she's very in your face, she's very confrontational, and my opinion was always like, boy, she must be really hard to work with, you know, if she's like that all the time. She's actually not. She's actually a really, really pleasant person. And when she's, you know, snarky or anything like that, it's never actually mean-spirited. You know, that's her sense of humor. And she's actually really kind, really caring, and really giving to everyone she works with. So, yeah, that, like I said, this documentary completely changed my opinion of who she is as a person. So, for that, I'm actually glad I delved into this. You know, the CD, no, I still don't care for. But the DVD, I do like the DVD. I did like, especially, she says something in this documentary that I really, really found meaning in, where she explains her opinion on what a soulmate is, and she says basically that a soulmate is not someone that you find perfect. You know, if you find someone who you think is perfect, run as far away from them as you can, because that's not your soulmate. Your soulmate is the person that she says will push every button, you know, will get on your nerves and make you face your shit. And I honestly never realized that. I was looking for the perfect person, and that quote really changed my mind, and I'm glad to see, I Googled that quote, and that's all over the internet. A lot of people really took that to heart, so that's really cool. It's you do see Guy Ritchie in this, and it's a shame because their relationship seemed kind of fun and stuff at the time. I wonder what happened, because obviously it went really badly, but yeah, it's nice to, after all this time where I'm just like listening to her music, it's nice to get a little peek behind the scenes at the real Madonna, So, yeah, like the DVD, really don't like the CD, let's move on. Now, we're moving on to another CD-DVD bundle. This time is 2007's The Confessions Tour. This one, I loved. I loved everything about this. I seriously loved this. I love the CD and the DVD. And this one, I can actually talk as one entity because the CD is basically just a cut-down version of the DVD. The DVD actually is the concert. It's like a 2-hour concert. The CD is just highlights from that, mostly dwelling on Confessions on a Dance Floor songs. Now, the one inclusion on the CD I kind of question is the Confessions part, where if you see the concert, it's where they play audio clips of the dancers talking about particularly dark points in their life, and the dancers act out what they're talking about in sort of an interpretive dance. I don't understand why that's on the CD, though, mainly because it's only really effective if you see, the visual element. It's a very visual part of the show. Madonna's not on stage. She kind of gives them the spotlight. And yeah, otherwise, I like the CD. It's got some good stuff on it. It has Music Inferno, which I love, but I'll get back to that in a second. So, since that's just the cut down, let me just jump to the DVD because that's got the whole show on it. Remember how I said in my Confessions review that Future Lovers reminded me of Giorgio Moroder? On this, she does the best thing ever and actually sings it as a medley with Donna Summer's I Feel Love, which, again, I compared it to in the previous video, so I love that. I didn't really like the updated Like a Virgin too much, but I'm kind of a stickler for changes, so it might grow on me over time. The Confession songs are just as strong as they were on that album. I love them here. Even Isaac works, because I didn't care for Isaac much. I thought it was kind of out of place on that album, but it actually works live, with a live singer who we actually find out is named Isaac. That's actually the name of the guy doing the chanting part, and he sticks around for some other songs too. I Love New York returns, which, I like it just for the fact that she raunches it up a little and makes the song kind of funny. I'm not going to spoil the George W. Bush line, but she changes one of the lyrics to something really unexpected, and it's funny. And you get to see Madonna play guitar, which is really cool because, before I went into this marathon, I didn't know she could play guitar, so... Music Inferno, I have to talk about this because I had no idea what this was. I just thought it was some new song I had never heard. I think it might have been a B-side at some point. It is literally her doing a mashup of music, Where's the Party, and Disco Inferno, and it worked wonderfully. I love it. I love the live version of it. I love everything that's going on. I love her John Travolta suit. Fucking awesome. One last thing I really loved about this, the last two tracks on both the DVD and the CD, thankfully, she starts with Lucky Star, which has the music of, it has kind of an ABBA vibe to it in this version. You can feel Gimme Gimme You Gimme a Man After Midnight starting to creep in, which then takes the song seamlessly into Hung Up. And if you haven't heard this yet, you have to hear this because it's awesome. And Hung Up, too, is dragged way out. There's audience sing-along parts, and it's the best way she could have possibly ended this concert. So yes, I'm just saying good things about this one. I know I was overly negative about the last one, but I love the Confessions Tour. I love it. Both the CD, the DVD, I even watched the behind-the-scenes documentaries on the DVD. Excellent set. Okay, so we're moving on from the Confessions Tour. And as you can tell, my mood has changed. I hated this album so much. This is truly, we're on part 7 now. I've listened to, a couple dozen Madonna CDs at this point. Even including the Otto von Werner CD, which was fucking horrible. This is the only Madonna CD so far I got absolutely no enjoyment out of. None. I know that might sound strong. That's really how I feel about this album. I listened to it twice thinking, oh, maybe something will click the second time. It did not click. It didn't click. And I'll tell you my main problem with this. This is not a Madonna album. This is a Pharrell Williams album that Madonna happens to sing the lead vocals on. Pharrell Williams pops up on every single track. You know, a track might be going okay. You know, there's nothing on here that's really a big standout, but some songs are okay, but then he has to rap. And that happens over and over and over. And then, to make matters worse, friggin' Kanye West comes in. I don't want to hear Kanye West. And, I mean, these songs are so awful. Justin Timberlake's on it, and I didn't even enjoy that. Usually I like Justin Timberlake. You know, I have no problem with him. And even on this, nah. And since I mentioned Pharrell Williams, I have to mention this, because I found this very interesting. Give It To Me sounds a hell of a lot like Marvin Gaye's Got to Give It Up. And as a matter of fact, it sounds a hell of a lot like Blurred Lines, which came several years after this CD. That's what made me pull out the booklet and see, oh, Pharrell Williams wrote this song. Great. It's friggin' Blurred Lines. Pharrell, what are you doing, dude? What is with Got to Give It Up? What's that song, you know? What, can't you just leave Marvin Gaye's song alone? Dude, that's twice now. I don't know. But yeah, I almost feel like, you know, shunning an entire CD like this, I have to apologize to the artist. Not Pharrell Williams, because leave Marvin Gaye's song alone, but Madonna herself. I really tried. I went back, I listened again, and I really tried, and I'm sorry. Maybe, I think, oh, no. The next album I have to listen to is a live album with songs from Hard Candy. Alright, so that brings us to the end of Part 7. Not looking forward to Part 8. Part 8, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I might have to go over long on that one, because I might just cram in 4 albums, because I have 4 albums. I can't do Part 8 yet, because I couldn't find the MDNA tour in a music store. Like, I looked at all these different stores, UCD stores and stuff. I could not find it at all. The only, like, decent price copy I could find online at the moment was from England, so I'm actually waiting for that album to show up in the mail. Let's see. So I should have 4 albums left. Sticky and Sweet Tour, MDNA Tour, and then Rebel Heart, and that will finish off, like, the core albums. I may just do them in one video. Like, Part 8 might be super long. I don't know. But, okay, see, here's my fear. Just based on the reputation of her next couple studio albums, because Rebel Heart is the most recent, I'm not expecting them to be good, just because, mainly, I've heard that there are a lot of, you know, Madonna trying to latch on to, like, current trends and stuff, and you start to see a lot of, like, guest performers. Like, I think Kanye West comes back, you know, Nicki Minaj keeps popping up, and people I generally wouldn't listen to, because, I mean, I don't really have an interest in modern music at all. I mean, if you've seen my other videos, I love, like, classic rock and stuff, but modern music I know nothing about. You know, the little bit of it that I've heard, I've had no interest in, you know. I mean, I know some of Justin Timberlake stuff, but not a whole lot, you know. I mainly know him from SNL and, like, Dick in a Box more than anything. And obviously NSYNC, because they were around when I was a kid, but I'm not looking forward to this, man. I'm not looking forward to this. But until then, I am Steve, sometimes known as your friendly neighborhood. Oh, no, I'm not. When was the last time I made a Man in Magenta video? Like 6 months ago. Just call me just plain Steve. And Trixie. I did make a Trixie video recently. And I will see you in Part 8 of the Madonna-Thon.